Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast. 5-minute videos, 5 days a week. Remember that old phrase from, I guess it was middle school and high school, called GIGO. Remember GIGO? Garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you put into your mind, that's what's going to come out of your mind. Yep, still true today. Doesn't matter how old you are or how much the decades change. Garbage in, garbage out. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom. I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. And I want to remind you that if you're a leader of any level, a leader of any sort, doesn't matter your age, your income level, doesn't matter what circle you live in as far as the people that you influence. Remember, John Maxwell says, leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. Which means if there are 10 people in your life that you influence, people who listen to you when you say something, people who follow you when you go somewhere, people who believe what you're doing and believe what you're saying is life impacting, then you are a leader. It's not about the job title, it's not about the position, it's not about the paycheck. It's about, do people listen to what you have to say? Are they paying attention to what you have to say? And if the answer is yes, then you have an obligation. You have a responsibility to understand that both in your life and in the life of the people that you influence, garbage in means garbage out. And we live in a day right now where very few Americans read more than what shows up on their social media feed. In fact, there are people who spend 4, 5, 6 hours a day just playing on social media. They're not influencers influencing people on social media. They're just taking all the garbage in. And there are propagandist machines who know this. They're using these tools for great forms of indoctrination. Unfortunately, there's some of that in our education system as well. Some of the basic courses like civics and government and economics have gone by the wayside. Instead, we get hours of stuff taught on sex education that less than a decade ago would have been considered pornography and endangering of a child, and you would have been arrested for simply having these conversations in public. But now our young people get hours of that kind of garbage in, garbage out in their minds while they're sitting in the classroom, because it seems to be more important to have them following along a pathway than to actually learning about our history and how to make things better. That's just my opinion. I have one. I have a right to it, just like you do. Just to share a couple of books with you, and I'll hold these up. I don't know how many of these you can read, but these are some books I picked up just recently. These are all brand new books, never been marked in, and I didn't get these at Half Price Bookstore this time. I usually buy my books at half price, but all of these I got from the Global Leadership Summit. Devon Franklin's book, The Success Commandments, Rejection Proof by Jia Zhang. This guy was fascinating to listen to him talk. He talked about how he realized that every yes in life is preceded by at least 10 no's. And so he figured out a way to find the most obnoxious ways to get a no on the odd chance that he might get a yes. And then it made getting a no so much more comfortable that getting a yes was easy. He asked silly things like, hey, can I play football in your backyard? And people were like, I don't even know you. Why would you want, whatever, go ahead. I don't care. And he would just bring his own ball and go to the backyard and play with the ball. But it was the bravery to ask the question until you get enough no's that they all lead to a yes. And so learning to be rejection proof, that might have something to do with your future as a leader. What if you're in sales? What if you own a company? What if you have a business plan and you need investors? What if you want to change the world, but you're afraid of rejection? Would rejection proof help you? See, you could read a book like that. It's not that complicated. How about Never Split the Difference? This guy was a former hostage negotiator. And he says, I just want you to know that you could be negotiating as if your life depends on it. And then finally, Herding Tigers, be the leader that creative people need. Do you know that when you lead people, sometimes different kinds of people need to be led in different kinds of ways? Yeah, they really do. And so there's a certain kind of way to lead creative people versus analytical people. See, these are just 4 of the many books that I will read over the next year, but they're all on leadership and development and personal growth. And that's where I spend the majority of my focus and my energy. And my challenge to you is to realize that social media isn't necessarily feeding your brain. While I appreciate you being a part of my world and part of these videos, I understand this is a very small snippet of informing the way that you think. If you don't have a library like this, and this one's small, it will grow. If you don't have a library like that, get started today. You could very soon. And as the old statistics say, I've heard anybody from Anthony Robbins to John Wooden say it, if you'll read 5 books on any topic this year, 5 books, pick one topic, read 5 books on that topic, at the end of the year, you'll be more of an expert on that topic than just about anybody in our country, because sadly, 90% of the people in the country don't bother to read 5 books on any given topic. Magazine, social media, television, that doesn't count. Get a book. Dig in. If you influence people, you're a leader. And if you're a leader, you have an obligation to feed your brain, to feed your mind, and to grow. I'm Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Leadership team. If attitude is going to have a deep impact on your business and bottom line, make it a positive attitude with a positive impact. Visit jlorennorris.com/attitude hack